Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Wizards Outlook. I'm so happy it's at a regular time after the 10:30 start times. We're back to regular schedule for the most part. Unfortunately for the Wizards, regular schedule, the regular things continue. Jokic got a little bit of rest tonight after putting in the game's work of work in less than three quarters or whatnot. He led the Nuggets past the Wizards 127 to 109. We know y'all are deep in the comments. Just give us some time and we'll get through it. As always, Cardell Dudley Jr., Raymond Lyons, Wilson Tarpe Jr. And before we get to anything, as always, quick word from the folks over at Oohs and Ahs. Just a reminder, our U Street location is completely remodeled. We can't wait to show you. Same space, new look. Visit oohsandahs.com. All right, Cardell, you were in the building, man. Your thoughts?
The Wizards being the Wizards, pretty much ready for vacation. I would advise them not to go anywhere near Russia or that part of the world, but yeah, they in vacation mode, man. They didn't show up here. We knew it was gonna be bad, but was hoping to at least be competitive for like a quarter or two, man. But for the most part, Denver came out, felt them out, and then do what they do what they do. Run through Jokic, and he pretty much was surgical with everything. He almost had a triple double in 26 minutes, 29, 13, and 8 in 26 minutes. That's nearly half the game, though. That's like two quarters of work. And he almost had a. It ain't really much to say. It's just the Wizards being the Wizards. I wish I could give you some profound analysis, man, but it is what it is. They just 9-2. They just not. It's more what we've been seeing in the last couple of weeks, man. You know what I'm saying? They terrible defense. If you can't get stops, it's just hard. I don't care how good your offense is. The Wizards didn't shoot well from three. They didn't turn the ball over. They only had 10 turnovers. They shot 47% from the field overall. But they still damn near got done, man. So it don't matter. If you can't get stops, you're not going to win in this league. And the thing I was shocked by, well, not shocked by, but looking at the Nuggets, they get after it defensively. So I'm like, how are you going to be far less talented than opposing team, but give less effort on the defensive end? That don't work. You're going to keep getting the same results, man. So, like I said, man, it is what it is at this point, man. You can tell they're in vacation mode, and they just trying to wind down the season. They basically here so they won't get fired. And that's just the take I got from them, man. It wasn't really any adjustments. They tried to double Jokic, but doubling Jokic is playing right into his hands. Yeah. So, he abused every center, every big that they had, from Chris Stacks to Gaff to TB. And then when they had to come double, he just found open guys and they were surgical. Everybody on the team except for Caponzo and Reed, they got in late, scored the ball. So there you go. It is what it is, man. They lost every quarter except for the fourth when the starters sat down. They only won that by 5. So it's on you, right? I have nothing else.
Yeah, man. It ain't no need to overthink it, man. It's just embarrassing. They got work. Them had 7 guys in double figures. They tapped out. It's no other way to put it. They just tried to ride this thing out and and go ahead and enjoy this summer. Yeah, man. If the effort don't change, the results not gonna change. And that's just the reality of it, man. So they can just continue to go down this road, or they can show a pulse and at least make it respectable. But yeah, as it stands now, they just a doormat at this point. And like, when's the last time they were even in a competitive game?
That's my point, dog.
Like, this is super embarrassing. But yeah, man, hey, that's on them. If they want to keep coming out here and look like this doesn't affect me none. So yeah, man, just if you an opposing team, You got the Wizards coming up. Just go ahead and try to up your average because they're gonna let
Yep.
you.
Get your numbers.
Yeah, so I don't have anything to add at all. You guys saw it. Cardell, Ray both commented on it. And from the sounds of from the site, these comments been coming in steady since like halftime. Yeah, we're just gonna get to we're gonna talk about player of the game real quick, X Factor. Didn't mean to mention it, but it's unanimous. That's great. That's cool. You guys mentioned Joker. That's wonderful. Out of the many choices of X Factors, who did you guys have for the Nuggets?
Man,
You
flip a
can take your
coin,
pick.
man.
There's several options. So
The Denver Nuggets organization. There you go.
okay. Ray, would you like to? Any no rebuttal? Okay, cool.
Nah, man.
Man. All right, y'all know what it is with the comments. We appreciate your comments as always. Look, I'm gonna be scrolling for a little bit, so we're gonna get as many of them on screen, and we'll, you guys know what time it is. We'll comment on them as we see fit. So here we go, Ray and Cardell.
Yeah.
This was like 8-10. This is like literally halftime. I think I shared this one with you guys earlier, but
Oh yeah, this ain't on the coach. This don't have nothing to do with the coach.
No. I never. All y'all don't know. I done played all the way up to the college level. I never needed a coach and still will to play defense. Matter of fact, every level I played at from when I first started playing at 9 years old, if you didn't defend, we didn't play. I don't care if we was putting up real numbers. It was just known, and no coach played those games. If you don't defend, you don't play. So I wanted to play because being a bench warmer isn't fun. I'm gonna step up. Yes, it's will, but it's intelligence and it's a lot more into it. But it starts with your will. Yes, you have to have a desire to get out there and want to get stops, especially on lethal players, because lethal players gonna get some shots. They're good. They're gonna make some shots, but you can't break. You got to keep being there. You got to keep coming, and then you can break them if you don't go away. And that's the goal. The Wizards are broken doing warm-ups. That's the problem, and it don't take much to take their will. So that's what's going on. But yeah, he's one of those players that bring the will every time, and that's why a lot of people don't like him. I love him. More players need to adopt his will. I'm talking about Pat Bear, especially on the DC scene.
against the Joker, I mean, again, we
And
were in a
Boogie.
group. Yeah, and Boogie again. You got two dudes, 270 plus coming to game, man. If there's kind of a common thread with the Wizards bigs, their bases aren't exactly the strongest. You're not look, man. Like Cardell talks about all the time, even regardless if that wasn't the case. 280 is 280, 270 is 270. They're leaning on you, they're hitting you, they're bumping you. It doesn't bother the person that's 270. You at 230 or whatever some of these dudes were, like there wasn't a difference. I felt bad for him like in the first quarter. I felt bad. Joker was leaning on him and folks was giving ground. Feet were moving.
Hey, see, when y'all, maybe not y'all in the comments, but when fans say those big bruising centers today can't have an impact today, from the past, big bruising centers from the past can have an impact today. Look at this game. Those jumpers and all that 3-point shooting, all of a sudden those jumpers gonna come up short when your legs down because you can see because this dude beating on you and he pounding you, he leaning on you. Yeah, the legs gonna get heavy as the game go along, and then you playing right into his hands, and now he got you. You know what I'm saying? So look, man, it is what it is, dog. Like they that was a good sign and they had Boogie as a backup. You know what I mean? Because he still got it. Like he still got it. Don't get it twisted. He still got it. And, he's actually giving more effort on defense than that Tom Wizards team. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So he's not even that mobile up there, and he's up there in age. So and had a big injury. I think he blew out his Achilles years ago. So it is what it is, man. And that's a big pickup because obviously to make any noise in the playoffs, you need a big. But they're gonna have to deal. They're gonna have to deal with something. Aiden Towns, maybe eight. Nah, no, nothing out of LA. Towns is somebody like that. We ain't even gonna mention the other team ever again for right now. So They're going to deal with some bigs and make moves. That's all I'm saying. Yo, dog, they was cheering on the Nuggets louder than they were the Wizards the entire game. From introduction, dog.
Hey,
Jokic got the loudest ovation out of everybody, including the home team. And the team and the arena was yelling MVP. This was like a Nuggets home game. The entire arena was yelling MVP. They did it 3 times.
Mars asks, is it enough for the kids to take baby steps? Talk about
Those 3
this.
play like Corey, Denny, Pittsburgh. Those 3 play like spoiled dudes.
I'm taking this kind of like the team as a whole. I don't think she's talking about those 3, but I could be wrong. So I don't know.
Man, it's hard to predict what's gonna go on in the future because the main piece ain't committed. You don't know what he's gonna do yet. So right now everything up in there. Because what if he say I'm rolling? He gonna have to make some moves. So some of these pieces here gonna get shit. So a couple of these pieces like TB and all that, man, that's 100 M's, no. Like I know he just came back this year, but he worked that 100 M's and then the guy got the bread and fell off. Like it's some serious questions he gotta answer, man.
Big red button should have got hit. She said she should have watched Sixers Cavs instead.
Hey man, take care of your mental.
Man,
don't even play around.
Like Ray said, if you gotta step away, sometimes you gotta step away. That's how y'all feel. Not repeating that one.
No. What Bert's saying is not okay. He gets used right, and there's no way to use him right. That's the problem.
Like, he wasn't even playable.
Look, man, hold on. Hold on, bro. They're playing right now in the Nuggets. I mean, the Mavericks. They just tied it up.
I'm playing the Nets, yeah.
9 minutes, this boy got 3 points. Bertans. You talking about views, right? And he playing with Luka.
What's it called? A couple Dallas beat writers the other day were saying, and they've just had him for a little bit, already saying like he's not playable in the playoffs.
Because he cannot stop anything. He can't even stop a kid from running on the court. So no, there's no way to use him right. Look, he got Tommy. He robbed Tommy with no gun and mask. It is what it is. But yeah, KP got hit the weight room, but that's the knock on him. That's why he's been shipped twice. When he came in the league on fire with the Knicks uniform and all that, you gotta change. You gotta keep. Sometimes improving your game isn't about skill. Sometimes it's just about getting your body right, getting strong, so you can stay on the floor, be available, and you could do different things. So he's tall enough; he should be able to bulk up where he can bang with Jokic, but still take him on the outside. You know what I'm saying? So. Like, Embiid a different breed because that's naturally his size. But I'm just giving you an example. Like, he can take you on the outside and then pound you inside. Why can't Joker? Porzingis. So it is what it is. And Dinwiddie, I think he just got deflated by the BS here. To be honest, that's what I was trying to tell y'all. Like, I think he's still good. I think he just deflated because he spoke on it. He said, I try to speak up and people didn't want to hear it. So when you got to come in this environment, it's just like, I'm here so I won't get fired. As soon as he gets to the new environment with Dallas, like right now, he got 19, 4, and 3. He been hooping. So it is what it is.
I don't understand these rotation. Coach clearly sees the vets can't keep with Denver. Why not play the young fellas? The game's already over since halftime.
Lay those value up, baby, so they can ship. Get the shipping people.
Team is whole plays like TV not real. All right. Zero trust in the assistant coaches besides JB. They look and sound so soft. Of course, the players take over the asylum.
JB.
I don't know who JB is.
Yeah, you gotta tell us who JB is.
This is still with the coaching about folks want more minutes for the youngsters.
Brooks impeding their development, depleting their confidence. Brooks developing young players. What y'all be looking at, dog? Y'all just be saying anything. Brooks the total opposite of that. the knock on him was people saying he stuck with the young players too long. I don't even understand that, man. You know what I'm saying? But I think they're just trying to see what they have right there. They know they're not going anywhere, so they're just trying to have players play their value. And so, because if they're not gonna win, I'm pretty sure it's like let's just get under the cap, so they can try to make some moves. But yeah, this ain't it, man. But yeah, I didn't understand like why didn't Satoransky play today until the last couple minutes, and you needed somebody out there, swarming and stuff like that, defending and being able to make plays on offense. So. Yeah, I just think they're trying to see what they have in certain players so they can figure out who they're going to ship out or try to ship out and who they're going to keep.
And I think that's a tough line to walk. And again, going back to the thing at the very top of it, that whole half in, half out leads to, from a business standpoint, you're down this road because you don't know. If you know you're in, he's here next year. Cool, you act a certain way accordingly. You don't know. Now you're bracing for both sides without also trying to publicly be like, we don't think he's going to be here. So, but again, proud proponent. I was a proud member of the Hit the Red Button before the start of the year started because it's not worth all this. And like Cardell said, the other part of this is you guys talking about the kids. I'm not tripping about the kids in their minutes too much because for a good, at least a good group of the kids, they were drafted by this regime. It's not like, I'm not worried about those guys. Those guys were scouted and drafted by Tommy. Yeah, West, well, at least Kispert's. I don't even want to technically put Kispert under West's regime because of how the timing and all that worked. Mm-hmm. But they're at least under Tommy. Everybody else, you don't really have ties. You got Brad who hasn't committed, has ties, who's drafted, been here forever. Cool. You got the kids, and then after that, a bunch of those pieces came over in one trade. Then some things were added on. What have you? Cardell, Ray, you guys mentioned Gaff. They threw something at Gaff already. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a tough place to be in. And when you're losing, man, all this is even more of a bigger talking point and things to worry about. And again, tough decisions ahead. Like it's going to be like this until they get to that decision, one way or the other, whether you know who's all in or if it's hit the red button. And if you hit the red button, it can't be the same as this year because how do you know they're going to work if they want to do a sign and trade or you're going to have to lose them for nothing? It's so many different type of things going on. So fun times. I think this is pretty much exactly what we were just talking about. So the same team returning next year. I doubt they'll play differently with this coaching staff. It's kind of what we were just saying. We don't, again, depending on what happens with who, it might not be the same team coming back. So, again, that whole figuring out if three's in or three's out, it's kind of got a lot to do with a lot, man. Going back to the hold each other accountable preseason talk stuff, going with the win.
That was over in December. I don't even know why you even bringing that up. That was done in December. Who talked the big game?
Talk about the team. Following that last comment. Seeing him playing earlier, and as of right now, he only has 2 minutes. He got 2 fouls in 2 minutes in this one.
He got destroyed. That's what it was.
He was real quick.
His teammates were too, so it makes you feel any better. Maya responding, as we already talked about. I'll talk about Bone looking light years ahead of Denny. It's a different organization and culture, sir.
Yep.
So you cannot compare those things. This is why I don't know if you guys watched our live draft show. I was giggling and laughing with glee when he got selected by Brooklyn, and I don't see him leaving there anytime soon. But
no, dog. Because with a certain player who don't want to get a vaccination, who you think they got to line up next? Because he's in natural bucket too. Don't get it twisted. He's just learning the league right now.
Mm-hmm.
So he was almost low-key insurance for both of them other dudes.
Exactly. That's what it was. You know what I mean? So, and it ain't about the coaching staff on that last question with Denny and Bones. That's just Bones, just that dude. Like, he been that way since AU, A10 at VCU. couple years of college, man, it gets you right. You know what I'm saying? So he already prepared for it.
Goodness, y'all. Let's talk about the rotations. Yeah, Cam's not going anywhere. I'm not commenting on that. I can read it. That's great. Nope. Not taking a stab at that. Area 11 T said, I'm like, what's Denny also showed his hand a bit tonight. We need to see that more consistently. Yeah, it looked like Denny tonight took some of Razor Cardell's advice and just hooped. Ain't seemed to do too much outside of just. You said what?
Stop thinking so damn much. Oh. When you think your stuff slow, always just hoop.
But he definitely looked good tonight. Michael Kirksey.
Yeah, man, you was Sherman thinking they had a chance, and we knew that was gonna be bad.
He said, "My bad."
I hope you ain't bet on that. Hope you ain't inside Capital One putting money down. Woo.
Yeah, the audio's gonna be muffled sometimes. When I'm there, I'm wearing a mask too. So.
Oh, what they say? Nah, fuck. What they say?
You talk about you don't need to wear a mask in the arena anymore. Now I'm still wearing one.
Negro, we are media. We are under different guidelines than you fans. You can do that. We got to keep our eyes on.
It's like y'all don't have to be vaxxed to go. We had a deadline.
You had to be vaxxed with a booster.
We had a deadline. It had to be submitted. So I should start benching dudes when they're not putting.
What's up? I was gonna say, and also Anthony, Google China and COVID situation. There you go.
They're not putting.
You understand? So
I think we're not putting Wild in on defense to establish that as a mindset for any player that puts on a Wizards jersey.
Nobody's playing defense, so you can't just. You gonna forfeit? Like, it's just a wrap for this season, man. Like, no adjustment is going to matter. Like, this, nothing West does is going to matter at this point, man. The conversation shouldn't even get to him before you hit like 12 bullet points.
All right. They thought Ish was terrible tonight. Welcome to Tommy's Barcelona Wizards. Area 11T, some toxic players, leadership organization needs to change. The Wizards, we're back on that.
Yeah, this dude think everything bad.
Yeah, been losing for the last 43 years.
That's what his 40 plus years of experience has shown us.
Oh, he likes bones though.
No shit. I mean, like, this media guy, dude, he says a lot more too.
I'm not Tommy. I'll push buttons. Yeah, you don't have any button over that roster.
It sounds good, but it tell you like, no, what you gonna do? I think people forget there's a guy at top that he got to answer to. It sounds good.
I think in sports in general, I think people forget that person at the top kind of like people kind of leave that person at the top of the totem pole alone when teams are going through whatever. They kind of like it's almost like what's it cool? I work in the service industry for like 10 years before. Some people go out to eat, they get mad at the servers no matter what, even though sometimes server got nothing to do with half the issue with your experience that night. Would you scream on who you see versus who you don't see? So some people are like that. It doesn't always make any sense. But, is this Spence Jekyll Hyde thing about the coach and organization?
No, I just think it's more about the environment.
Yeah.
You understand this West first year, man. Look, dog, the NBA is a players' league. Everybody says that, man. And it's a lot of ego involved. If you give a lot of these players an inch, they'll take a mile. I'm gonna just say that. So they taking a few miles because they feel they can because it's a first year head coach. He's still learning. and they're just tuning them out. Sometimes you ain't got to show a lot of attitude. You can hear a coach and still go in there and just do the total opposite. You know what I'm saying? Like I think I sent y'all a link yesterday on Ray and Wilson, where Steph got like a clear layup, and you can see
Yeah.
West like waving like, "Yo, cut him off," and nobody moving. He got the clear layup, and his whole body. He like, I'm like, that says it all right there. That's the Wizard season right there. He's actually telling them the thing to do. He sees it coming, and they still don't do it.
Yeah, he was
So
telling
that's
them to come
why,
up. Yeah.
and that's why I'm saying, like, you can't say the coach. The coach is telling them the right thing to do. The players got to execute. They got to listen and do it. So that ain't on the coach.
And the
I'm not
other
saying
thing, my bad, I didn't mean to cut you off. And I think the other thing, some of the best teams, man, is self-police too.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have you have to have somebody. And I know we've talked about this in the past, but man.
So remember what I said back in December? I'm like, they're gonna have to have some uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah.
Now Spencer tried, and they shut him down. Cool. Then a couple altercation when nobody connected happened, and then next thing you know, people just out here playing for self. Then people get shipped out. You see what I'm saying? And then you got a couple players sneak dissing and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's just that tells you about the environment. It starts at the top. It's the environment, and this environment been this way for years. They just had a dog run a point guard who people took for granted, who kind of, by his play and stuff, it didn't seem as bad. You know what I'm saying? He kind of provided a little cushion away from that, but it's, now looking back, I'm like, I don't even blame my man going in the club here and there. No, I'm like, this is stressful.
Hey, you
He
want to
needed
know
to
what?
release some steam.
Gotta blow some steam, man.
Right.
With this nonsense.
That might have been the greatest magic trick ever. Was him holding the curtain up to how bad everything was. Honestly, like my man held the shield, fell on it, and everything else, and then was ushered out in the manner that he was, which was crazy. But
And I hate when teams do that. That's sucker stuff to me, man. But a lot of teams move that way, so they can try to fool the fans into thinking that they made the right decision. Y'all ain't been the same since he left. Even with Rush, y'all still had to fight for the player, and you see where he's at now out there. So, you lucky they just put that play in last year. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been in playoffs anyway.
Yep.
And it's sad, Wilson. We look at it now. We like, damn, we spoiled because when we first started covering the Wizards, they was in the playoffs every year.
Yeah. Yeah.
We was in here like, yeah, no, it's normal thing. We was talking about, can they advance like second round Eastern Conference? Can they build up to get to that point?
Right.
Yeah,
but we were used to first round coverage. We were used to that, yeah.
But now we like playoffs. You on some Jim Morris? Like, what? Are you serious? So it is what it
is. Oh, right on cue, man.
I know. Then I say he can still play. Like
that's like his second one in 3 games, ain't it?
Environment, working environment is important. It's actually a good thing to want to go to work sometimes. I know a lot of people don't have that. I know a lot of people, it's like getting a crane. You got to get a crane to get their ass out the bed, but yeah. What did he say?
He was saying he forgot they're run by a hockey guy, that we're the only ones that seem to remember that.
He said free John Wall.
Yeah. The environment and the culture matters, and until that gets right again, like, look, man, I wish y'all the best.
And this is no diss to West Huntsville. That's why I was kind of hoping they would get Sam Cassell, because you think the environment would be the way it is? No. It ain't rolling with Sam I am. He's blind as hell. He's going to tell it like it is.
Mm-hmm.
You see how Ty Lue be in the press conference and stuff like that? Oh, no. So
and what's good?
It is what it is.
And you see, like, sadly, you almost have to be like that because of how some of these, what some of these things are comprised of. You almost have to be like that. And, again, man, it's going to be tough.
You know what? Last thing, for you fans, hold these players accountable. Instead of always praising them and stuff like that. When you see this, get on their head, because it's too much fake energy where they just, it's like, Like, how can you be cool with this? Oh, you talking December, bro? We knocking on April. The same thing. 30-point quarters, 40-point quarters. You like bad shot selection. Nothing has changed. Even with the personnel, nothing has changed. You're right. It starts at the top. But at the same time, I'm like, fans got like when you listen to a lot of fans, they don't hold players accountable. They make excuses for them, and that's not cool. Like we grew up in a time, if you ain't getting it done, you gonna hear it. So, do you think if it? Nah, man, nah. As much as I would love him to, because he gonna look, man. It's Bill's team for now. As long as he here, right? When he left, it was his team, or at least at the last, at the worst case scenario, theirs. So if he come back, what's that dynamic gonna be? Is he gonna be in differential mode? Then he ain't gonna be the same John Wall.
Mm-hmm.
So then, what good is he? And then, you got to start with that. They got to repair some things for what the owner said when he left. And then it's a different coach. It's not the same coach that saw him go to the All-Star game and all that. It's a totally different coach. So then what? You know what I mean? It's just it's a lot of stuff they got to work through to even consider that.
Appreciate that. Appreciate y'all as well. Anthony, Tony, you just love chaos. Just enjoys chaos, bro. Just chooses it every chance he gets. But what's good? What they got up next? Because this week isn't over yet.
Got the Knicks on Friday.
And then the Lakers.
And Lakers on Saturday.
Yeah, well, we will see you guys this weekend. See y'all this weekend, man. Again, thanks for speaking with us, spending time with us after the game. Again, we'll see you guys on Friday and Saturday night.